Welcome to the Estate Professionals Mastermind podcast, built for real estate professionals that want to work less, earn more, and make an impact in their community. For information on how you can become part of the estate professionals community, visit probatemastery.com.
Hey, welcome. I'm Bill Gross. Welcome to the Probate Mastery Call. And I don't know if you know who I am. I'm on this call as a participant many times, but I actually host it quite a bit, or guest hosted it for quite a bit. And Bruce reached out to me and asked me if I would guest host today. And I said, yeah. And partially because I feel like I owe so much to the program. I started in real estate about 40 years ago. I started back in production full-time 6 years ago. I'd been in management, coaching, recruiting, and had to kind of go to my next phase of my career, which was as a producer again. And did some research and wanted to focus on probate real estate, took the probate mastery training. And 6 years ago, wow, it's going to be 7 years in March. I keep saying six. And built a great business. I'm 66 years old. I might have retired then. I could have done so maybe very modestly. But 6 years later, I built a great business, made a lot of money, put money away, continue to do what I do, enjoy it, and get referrals from agents like you across the country. I'm glad to help if I can. I'm in Southern California. I built a national network of referrals. I'm with EXP Realty, but more important than all that, I think, is that my goal is to just help people. I start my own podcast. I host Probate Weekly, which is, I think, the largest probate real estate podcast, meaning this is more of a business for a realtor or investor podcast. Mine's strictly about real estate, and we have attorneys and vendors and such. And it's been a great business. And I'd love to help you guys all build your businesses in the probate space, whether you're a real estate agent or investor or somehow otherwise related. So I know when I started, the business was lonely, and I jumped on this call regularly to help me find my way. But I'm glad to help out here to help you guys grow your business and answer questions. Now, if you guys don't ask questions, there's a chat box. Make sure I have it open here. Yeah, it's a chat box. And feel free to put your questions in there. I'd love to have you put in there what state you're from. If you're a realtor or an investor, I would love to get a feel of the crowd. And then I would say the other thing, if you make this time valuable for you, and look, I'll just share with you that how you do everything, little things, how you do everything. If your video's on, participate. Now, sometimes you can't, we're busy, fine. But I would say the more you put into this, the more you're gonna get out of it. And so put in your state, and if you're a real estate agent versus a investor or both. I am both, though my primary focus is real estate, but I made a lot of money on a real estate investment flip I did this year. So I made, I won't say as much money, but almost a year's income. Hey, Angela Taylor in Florida. I was just in Florida last week. I was in Miami Beach for a week. Loved it. Loved South Beach. And so put in that. And then I'd also ask you if you want to write one thing that you're really focused on working on, and then one challenge you're working on that if you could solve that would dramatically improve your business. So I'll just share with you, I'm in Los Angeles, California, to be more specific, West LA, right near Beverly Hills. I'm actually the branch manager of the Beverly Hills office for EXP Realty. I'm a realtor first. I invest passively in real estate and I flip houses when they come up. My focus has really been on AI. I want to say that for the last 9 months, maybe a year, I have my to-do list every day, spend at least 30 minutes playing with AI, either doing something I might otherwise do in the AI, or if I have nothing, just learning how to use it for 30 minutes every day. And I've gotten some great return on that. Biggest challenge I would have, I would say, I'm trying to go deeper in relationships with bigger attorneys and bigger referral sources. I've got a great deal this last year for an estate of $40 million of real estate. It's been fantastic. I'd like more of those. I feel like I'm uniquely qualified to handle complicated estates with litigation and such. So that's what I'm working on. But I also list $300,000 houses in Blythe, California, and $400,000 houses in Lancaster and Palmdale. So I'm all about helping. Okay, so let's take a look at the answers and see if there's anything we can help on. Focus on cold calling PRs. Okay. I will say I've not done that. So well, I'm glad to answer questions on that. And I've listened to this chat, this podcast and others like it. I never sought to do that. I used to be a great cold caller on expired listings. I really got into probate to do something different and to leverage and to build a business. I think that creates equity and leverage my experience and knowledge. Whereas cold calling obviously doesn't do that. But again, it's a great place to start when you're new and hungry. You should do that. Dina's licensed in Texas and New Mexico, agent and future investor. Very good. Robert's working on how to link with attorneys, challenge how to connect with beneficiaries after death. Well, Robert, obviously the attorney can make the introduction to you. I think one of the things that we as realtors, if I ask the question, if you guys want to play along, write in the chat box, what's your focus in your business every day? What are you looking to get every day? And the wrong answer is I'm looking to sign contracts, I'm looking to sell houses, I'm looking to list houses. The right answer, I think, is looking for people who know people who need to sell houses. And that means I'm focused on listing. In real estate, listers last, and the business is listing, and the employees are the buyer's agents. And I'm looking for referrals. So my focus is business to business with attorneys and related referral sources. So Robert, I would say if you want to get more beneficiaries, get more relationships with attorneys to introduce you to the beneficiaries. And also, Robert, I didn't see where are you located? Washington State, I think. This says Washington. I imagine that's Washington State. So another way to get to beneficiaries is working with probate advance companies or doing that yourself. Okay, and then let's see what else we have. Lisa challenges contacting property owners on behalf of my clients, but the property owners is not doing a call list, so I have to send them letters. So when you say call on behalf of your clients, I think I'm assuming you're saying investors. But I just think cold calling is going to get harder and harder. And I'd say it's not hard doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It's just going to be more and more work per result. You may get more rewards for those results too. So I don't have any solution. Well, again, I build my business on social media using video primarily. My YouTube channel is at Bill Gross Probate. And so I will say is that there are people who've built great businesses on B2C. They built it by creating people who videos that make people call them.
Hey, it's Bill Gross.
I'm sorry. I just want to pull up my channel channel in case you guys are interested in that. So, I would say there's certainly room in my book for a consumer focused probate real estate channel. I don't run that. I really run one more for professionals. Okay, so build a business model so we can scale our brokerage more efficiently across Ohio. Wow. Darren, I'm on the same boat. I'd love to learn how to scale my business up. I have 38 or 39 of my downline through EXP with revenue share. I have some agents around the country that I've sent referrals to. As far as actually having people, I don't have a team as such. I don't have a brokerage as such. So I don't really know how to do that. Don't really want to do that at this stage of my career. I think when you build a sales team, 9% of people don't do anything you tell them to do. And I'm at an age where I just don't care. When I was young and hungry, I put up and I help motivate people. These days, I'm looking to work with motivated people. I just don't have the patience anymore. I have a 204-year-old grandson. We're expecting our third in a few weeks. So I have enough patience. I use all my patience to help my grandsons play with trains. I don't have that for salespeople. But I'm glad to share ideas with you if I can help in any way or answer any questions. Michelle, I love this one. I just began a few weeks ago, so I'm not sure what I need. Well, Michelle, are you a real estate agent or are you an investor? I think that, I'm always reminded of Alice in Wonderland and when she meets Cheshire Cat and she pops into the underworld and she sees him and says, which way should I go? And Cheshire Cat says, well, where do you want to go? And she says, I don't really care. And then Cheshire Cat says, well, if you know where you're going, it doesn't matter which direction you go in. So I think, Michelle, you need to get laser focused on what you're trying to accomplish. I would really urge you to do that. Because if you're not able to laser focus on your business, then you're going to get distracted. Everything looks like all activity looks like a road that you want to pursue, but you won't ever get to your result. So for me personally, I will say that when I made this transition 6 years ago, unlike previous times in my career, I took a whole week just to write a business plan. I literally took the Pro Mastery class and blocked out that time. And I've always done this since. where I go to like a convention, I'll block out time to write my business plan while my mind's kind of stimulated with all these new ideas. And I spent that week and I wrote out my business plan that I've followed for the last 6 years. I do review it every 90 days. I do review it once a year. But frankly, it's the same plan almost, adjusted for COVID that I wrote at that time. So I would urge you to get real clear on what your bullseye is so you can do that. Angela just started in the niche and 2, 3 of the way through, 2 of the course, trying to focus on the next best step. So again, Angela, I would really urge you to be thinking about what is your goal? What are you trying to create? Like I'm 66. I'm a religious Jew. I can't eat at non-kosher restaurants, which I used to do. My main business used to be taking people to lunch. As I became religious, I lost that opportunity. It just didn't work for me. LA is very spread out. And so I wrote a business plan that included me going to court every day for 3 or 4 hours to prospect and meet people. And there was a Starbucks there, and there's a cafeteria there. I could meet people for coffee afterwards. So I wrote a business plan that took my limits and my goals and put it into place. And that's how I got to where I am today. So I really urge you to think about specifically what you want, because otherwise you're just going to get kind of wandered around by the industry, and that's not going to be good. What do you do to nurture relationships with attorneys? From Anda, great question from KW Advisors in the San Francisco Bay Area. I don't do enough, and I'm not particularly good at it. But what I do is I have a podcast. I invite probate attorneys to come on the podcast, invite them back about every 90 days. I think that gives me a chance to learn, to meet them, spend some time with them, and also develop some rapport with them. I think they appreciate that I help them promote their business. So that's my primary. I do send out a coffee cup with an episode thumbnail on it. I send out postcards a couple times a year, but my main focus really is YouTube. And I think that, we all have, there's a lot of things you can do in life, right? We all have, more opportunities to do things than we have time of the day. But personally, I really focus in on the YouTube channel podcast as my lead generation method, 3, 4 hours a day, every day. And that's yielding me fantastic results. I just really couldn't imagine. I mean, I'd love to do more, but I'm not that hungry or not that desperate. So obviously, I guess I would do more. But hopefully it helps a little bit. I would say for me, it's YouTube. And I think there's other ways to do it. There are people who call people and just check in with them every 90 days. I saw one, the number one office building broker in Manhattan, Bob Knakal, Knakal, fantastic speaker at a convention I was at, and his book I bought, just received it. And he just calls his referral sources every 90 days. He makes sure he calls them all. He cold called till he had a big enough book of business where he just calls referral sources and checks in with them every 90 days. Okay, that's another way to do it. Some people have luncheons or dinners or Super Bowl parties once a year events. There's a lot of different ways. I think there's an opening for somebody in San Francisco or LA to actually go to attorneys' offices and drop off donuts, cookies, tchotchkes, notepads, pens. There's a business model there that I haven't heard anybody use effectively. But any of the models you pick require a commitment to do more of it better than anybody else. Like my YouTube, when I tell people what I do, they'll say, wow, that's a lot of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work. And so would be going to attorneys' offices, 4 or 5 days a week for 2 or 3 hours a day over 90 days. It'd be a lot of work. But if you do it and do it well and get good at it, I think you can develop a lot of business. So a lot of ways to nurture relationships. I would think you should look inside and see what are your gifts, what are your strengths, what do you enjoy doing, and find a method that helps you do that. What do I say to representatives of the courthouse? So I'll share with you, and that's a great question, I think. I'm really shy. I'm here talking. Nobody's asking any questions verbally. You can go, gosh, Bill, you can't stop talking. I'm really a shy person. My favorite hobbies are reading books and swimming on a competitive swim team where most of the laps you do are underwater. You can't talk to anybody. So I'm fine with that. Like I talk to people all day long at work. I'm married. I don't want to say too much because she can hear me, but for the men, you understand what I'm talking about. I'm married. I have only one child. I have a daughter, but she's a girl. You know what that's all about. She's 29. She's also pregnant. So you know what that's all about. I got plenty of words in my life. I don't need more words, but I made a discipline. Whenever I get in an elevator, I try to strike up a conversation with whoever's in there. And it used to drive my daughter crazy. And I said, I need to learn how to, start conversations. And so a couple of things I've learned is always ask them questions that are open-ended, getting them to talk. I have right there over my shoulder, that's an old-fashioned chess clock. And that's a metaphor for me to remember that in a chess clock, you play your opponent, you make a move, you push the clock down, their time is running. They make a move, they push it down, and then your time is running. And whoever runs out of time loses. If you don't win the game on the board, but you run out of time, you lose. And I think of conversations the same way. The more I can get other people to talk, the more I'm winning in sales. The more other people talk, the smarter they think you are. So to answer your question, what I do when I meet them, I just say, "Oh, hi, what brings you here today? How can I help you?" Or I look for somebody who needs some help. They walk down the hallway and they're kind of confused. Why I had a list on my phone of all the rooms and the different departments. And I just, answer questions. You look like you're lost. You need some help. I'm looking for Department 8. Oh, it's right down there. Uh, what brings you here today? And look for opportunities to help people that way. So I would just say, try to find a couple open-ended questions that you can ask people. Okay, it's 18 minutes and I haven't stopped talking. I didn't really mean to talk that much. But I'm hoping I'm answering your questions. Is this helpful? Are we on the right track here?
Yeah, absolutely. If folks would like to ask a question, there's a little heart button at the bottom that says react. Just click on that, and then you could click raise hand.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we'll be happy to have you guys chime in because it makes for the podcast to be a little more dynamic, if there's more voices. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It's up to you. Look, I'm not getting paid for this. I make a lot. I do really well, and I'm glad to help you guys. And I appreciate what Bruce has done for me and my business. So I'm here to help you guys. A chance, there are companies that charge $1,000 a month for coaching. I used to be such a coach. I would coach 30-minute a week for $1,000 a month, and I just I like to do it. There other companies wanted to hire me. But frankly, I'm an actual practitioner. I'm not just teaching you this because I'm selling you some sort of database or something. Um, I literally am hanging up the phone here at 11:55 because at 12 o'clock I have a business meeting with my clients in a $40 million state and their attorneys and such. So I'm here to help. But you got to take the step. Lisa, I don't know if I see a heart there. Is that? Oh, your hand's up. There you go. Let me get you unmuted and let's get you in. What's up, Lisa?
Hi there. Quick question. So I'm the one that wrote the question about helping my clients with probate properties that we find. The challenge I'm having is, so how far down lineage wise do you go before you stop? So my client's willing to pay up to $10,000 for this particular property that's in probate. Well, actually, never even went to probate. There's no relatives available to go to probate. Um, we hired the attorney. The attorney found a long lost sister and brother. They're half sister and brother. They're deceased. So now we're going to go and find their children and then I guess make them some sort of an offer. There's a term for that I can't think of off the top of my head. And then get that relative to sign off. And then the attorney can then go to the judge and try to have the, I guess, quiet title. Is that what that is? Signed off
Well, well, okay. What state are you in?
in Virginia.
And is that where the property is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So one thing about probate is the laws vary by state and procedures can also vary by county.
Mhm.
So I'm in California. I'm familiar with some other states. So in general, I'll give you one example. In California, we have a unique law that allows anybody, any California resident can file a probate. Now, there are other people who have priority. So if they get noticed and object, they can file and step in and say, no, I'm going to take it over. So I've done that. I've had people come to me with properties that were vacant and we researched it and I filed as a petitioner because I'm allowed to, my California resident. And the family members, reached out to me and said, hey, what are you doing? We are the lost cousins, blah, blah, blah. I said, great. You want to probate the property? I'll sell it for you. Do you want me to, run the probate for you? And I went through what I would do and I probated and sold the property and they got the money and they're happy. I don't know that I suppose there's a similar process available in Washington, but I don't know the process enough to. I'm sorry, in Virginia, I don't know the process enough to tell you specifically. But that's the kind of thing your attorney should really help you understand what those procedures are. It's not quiet title because it's going from decedent to whoever the buyer is, and you have to have
Mm-hmm.
title insurance. So there'll be title insurance. And another opportunity or a resource for you should be whatever title company you would use, go to them and ask them what they would need in order to insure title. And typically, it's going to be just a grant deed, and from the person who deceased. Well, you can't get that. Then there has to be some sort of court authority form, some sort of court order, probate order, or something. There's small estate probate orders and kind of medium and large here in California, so it depends. But I would talk to your title rep and your attorney to try to find what the process is.
Yeah, so we've done that. And the title, of course, their hands are tied. They're like, well, we can't do anything. And the attorney never mentioned, because the person who's interested is actually also her hairdresser. And the property she wants is beside her other rental properties. So
But,
she thought she could
but,
go down and file
but
probate.
hold on one second. One thing about title companies I find is every title company would love to just have you call them with an order, and then they send you a prelim, and then it closes, they get paid. And then you call with an order. But see, this is a business. Their job is to earn your business. And so to say they don't know, well, they're in the business. If that title company doesn't, go find yourself another one that does, or another real estate closing attorney. You guys have attorneys, I think, in Virginia, right? For your
Oh
closings,
yeah,
not
for
escrows.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
We have escrows. We don't have closing attorneys. We have real estate closing escrows. So I would just keep calling one till you got one that knew what they're talking about, because the answer is
Okay.
going to be, I've done one like that, and here's what we do, and there'll be a process
Mhm.
or procedure. Then the answer should not be they can't help you. If they can't help you, then they don't want your business.
Yeah, the client said, well, the attorney, because I actually went to the last meeting with the attorney, and
Mhm.
he says, here's who we found for list of heirs. You can give them a call. And if those people are dead, then go to their children. And so now I'm on the rabbit trail trying to find the kids. Um,
How much is
trying
the
to
property
find,
worth? You said.
for this person, it's worth a lot I mean, we could wait till the taxes are unpaid and go to the courthouse steps, but then we're fighting all the other investors. Um, and so
But
the
if you
taxes
probated
are
and had to
now,
pay full market value, what would it sell for?
probably for her in our area, about 150. I mean, it's just a rental property next to the one she currently has.
So
It's
there's
in pretty
errors
good.
research companies that will, for contingency fee, 10, 15% research errors. That's a little low for them, but there are companies that will do that. I've interviewed some on my podcast. You might want to search on my YouTube channel. So you might want to find errors research, do the research for you, because it's tedious work, and they subscribe to different services. Just like you and I might subscribe to the MLS and have public records
Mhm.
access, they have other services they subscribe to.
Okay. All right.
Okay?
Well, thank you.
Sure. Good luck, Lisa.
Thanks.
Okay, who else has a question? Feel free to raise your hand. Let me see. Do I see any hands up? I don't see any. Unmute, just jump in and ask the question. Put in the chat box. Anybody? Y'all just waiting for the right question that's going to help answer your business? No? So it's interesting. Before I came on here, I used, oh, there we go. Wayne. Let's go Wayne in here. What's up, Wayne? Let's get you unmuted. There you
Hey,
go.
Bill.
What's up,
Hey,
Wayne?
hey, I'm doing good. Hope you are. Appreciate
Yeah,
you being on the call.
sure.
So I actually went through the course 7 or 8 months ago and was getting started with it, and then life happens, and so I'm kind of kind of getting restarted with it. And I don't mind like meeting people, talking to people, all that kind of stuff. That's not a problem for me. I don't I'm an extrovert. What I'm struggling with is exactly what to say to an attorney to get the appointment to just go sit and take them lunch to their office, and get a chance to have 30 minutes to talk with them. I don't know, for some reason I'm drawing a blank on how would I start that conversation.
I love this
um
question. Okay, Wayne, where are you located?
I'm in Birmingham, Alabama.
Give it a try. Pretend you called me on the phone. I'm an attorney. You want me to go lunch with you. Give it a shot. Let's see how it goes.
Hey, Bill, this is Wayne Trammell with eXp Realty, and
Mhm.
I would like to see if I could come and maybe meet with you at your office and bring some lunch for you and your staff and talk with you about a way that I could maybe help your clients get full market value for their property in probate.
Okay. So here's the thing, Wayne. That's going to work you a certain percentage of time.
Gotcha.
The more you do it, the more that percentage will go up. And you also learn better words to use and not word use. But I would say start with that. I'm sorry, you said you're in Alabama. What city again?
Birmingham.
How many in Birmingham? In Birmingham, they love the governor. In Birmingham, how many? As a reference to some of those older of us, there must probably be a couple hundred probate attorneys or trust attorneys in Birmingham, I would guess.
I think there's probably it's under 100, but they it's
Fine.
for Jefferson
Let's say it's
County, so
50.
but still,
Just
yeah,
just call 50 and see how it goes.
yeah.
My
Okay,
guess
and
is if you called, my guess is you call like that, you'll get better on the second, third, fourth, and fifth, and you'll end up getting 1 in 3 or 1 in 2 saying yes to you bringing lunch.
Okay, all right,
But you got to do it.
and really, once I get the meeting, I guess just kind of do like just talk with them about services that I can help their clients with, and
I would say not.
kind
I
of
would
take
say
it,
ask questions. Selling isn't
ask
telling, selling
questions.
is asking questions. So find out what they need, what they do, where they need where they need help, what disappointments other realtors have given them, and what are opportunities that you think you can help them, that they think you can help them with. So I'd be asking questions and looking for opportunities. Selling is not telling, it's asking questions.
Gotcha. Guy, I appreciate that, Bill. And I'm with
Mhm.
EXP as well. And I
Mhm.
also tried to connect with you on LinkedIn. So hey, just accept me if you don't mind.
I'm not on social media much, so I will if I see it there. But to be honest, I get so much spam on LinkedIn and stuff. I've reduced my connections on Instagram and Facebook to just my immediate family, so I can see pictures of my grandkids. So if you reach out to me, anybody
Yeah,
here on
yeah.
Instagram or Facebook, don't take it personal if I don't respond to you. I just really don't care. I like to see pictures of my grandkids, so that's what it goes. But I'll look for you. I'll look for you if I can, and if not, don't take it personal. Send me an email or text or
Yeah.
something with a link. I'd be glad to help out. Okay.
All right, thanks.
Cool. Okay, I'll see the hands up. A couple questions in the chat box. What companies do you recommend to create a website for probate? Any of them doesn't really matter. I think that's way overrated. The whole website, can you spend money on and have a nice website? Yeah. Is it going to get you business? No. So who's going to click on your website? Who's going to find your website? You just need a place to put your information and then put information there, blog and posts and videos and all that kind of stuff. So any of them are good. I don't think it really matters. You can get free. I have so many different website stuff. It's just crazy. But and the whole SEO thing with chat taking over, I don't think there's a time to invest money or time into those things as well. I do think the content that you control is your equity. For me, my content, my video, not this one because I'm doing this for somebody else, but for my podcast, that video, I control that. And that's powerful. And I think that I want to build more of that. Where is it? My website, I point people to my YouTube channel more than I do my website. So I don't think it really matters. I won't pay any money for it. My guess is if you're a real estate agent, you probably get one for free from your company. It's probably as good as any of them. Sylvia caught the Freebird connection. Very good. Leonard Skinner. I don't see hands up. Robert has a question. One problem example we give calling attorneys that you can't get them on the phone. Yeah. So Robert asked the question. One problem is you can't get them on the phone. So here's what I'm going to say to you guys, and this is just mental. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's a lot of work. I get people asking all the time, "What's the easiest way to do blah blah blah?" I have no freaking idea the easiest way. I work hard. I was on a call. I got my office. I go pray in the morning. I go for some exercise, and I start at my desk. I stay at 9, really 8:30. Clear out emails, get ready to go. I had a 9 o'clock call, a 9:30 call, a 10 o'clock recording for my podcast. I have this 11 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, I have a video meeting with the clients and their team behind them. I have to leave the house and be downtown LA by 2 o'clock to meet with my team on a large estate. I don't know the easy way to do any of that. I just do it. I limit my work hours. I get my exercise in. And so I think that Robert, I believe this question is the kind of apology in advance for not doing the work. It's hard. Yeah. So To use the example I walked through with on the role play, okay, so maybe out of 50 attorneys, you only get 10 on the phone. Or maybe out of 50 attorneys and you leave voicemail or emails for 50, only 3 return the call. Well, I don't care what the number is, just do that. Like rather than guess and say it's hard, just do it, document it, then you'll know how hard it is. When I call expires, I used to call 4 hours a day to make 40 contacts every single day. I never counted my dials. It was hundreds. I counted my contacts. So you might want to just count how many attorneys you talk to a day. But if you spend 3 or 4 hours a day doing something to generate business, whether it be door knocking, cold calling, working on social media, that doesn't mean putting a post and sitting back and watching it or watching pretty girls. It means going into chat rooms and answering questions and conversing with people for 3 or 4 hours a day. Or like I used to go to court every day for 3 or 4 hours, or go to real estate investment meetings for 3 or 4 hours. Whatever you do for 4 hours, you'll get good at it and you'll figure it out. And so when you ask questions like, it's hard to get them on the phone. Yeah, okay, it's hard. That means if you master it, all your competitors will get stopped at that hurdle, but you figure out how to get over it. So look for things that are hard, figure out how to solve them, and then you'll be the one who gets the benefits. Joe says all the leads to the website. I paid for the website. It's nice. I don't know. Is it worth? If you have extra money, yeah, why not? The problem is people ask the question about these things aren't making any money in commissions. Don't invest money in a website. Reinvest some of your profits maybe in your website. But until you have deals closing, I wouldn't spend a nickel on just a website because it's not going to generate business for you. You want to put your money into lead generating activities, and a website is not. At best, it's buying the fly paper, but you got to drive the flies to the fly paper.
Hey guys, I'm butting in here with a quick ask. If you're getting value out of this coaching today, I want to invite you to check out my Probate Mastery trainings over at www.probatemastery.com. Probate Mastery is for you if you're an agent or an investor that wants to work with motivated sellers that have inherited real estate that they don't need and in many cases can't afford. These sellers are more appreciative, willing to trust your expertise, and less likely to nickel and dime you over commission or price. Why is that? They're often in the middle of a complex probate or an estate administration process, and this means that real estate is very often a burden on them, and they simply need the help. Inside of Probate Mastery, I teach you exactly where to source your leads, how to establish value, and offer your service in a way that quickly makes you, as the professional, your market's expert in the probate space. If you want to know a little bit more, go over to www.probatemastery.com. Hope to see you guys inside of the community. Thanks.
I know I'm not a fun speaker, am I? Because it's all about hard work. I can see some of your faces. It looks like I just horrified you. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to scare you, but I do mean to help you stop wasting time and stop wasting money. That's my goal. I believe someone talked to about making relationships with the gatekeeper as well. Yeah, Angela makes a good point that for some law offices, the gatekeeper is the personal relationship. In a small attorney's office, maybe with 2 or 3 attorneys, you'll have like a receptionist and 2 or 3, or maybe a paralegal or 2 or 3. And by going to the office, you can meet the gatekeeper. And I can assure you, if you bring donuts, cookies, I've done that in other businesses, they're your new best friend. Oddly enough, and this is why I tell most realtors start with your center of influence. None of you will do this. It will work. This is the most effective thing you can do for free, but none of you will do it. I'll just say it anyhow, which is I always tell real estate agents, start with your current center of influence and talk to them about probate and avoiding probate. Why? I've literally had an agent on my team discover she knew the husband was a contractor. She didn't know the wife. She knew the wife was a secretary. She didn't realize she was a receptionist at one of the largest probate offices in her county. Once she figured that out, she went to lunch with her. She brought her food. She dropped by. She started getting business from her. And that's why I tell real estate agents, start with your center of influence database, email all to them or friend them on social media and put out content related to probate or how to avoid probate, because you don't know where your next probate is. It's sitting there in your database and you're not going to get it. Okay, none of you are going to do that. I just have to say that so I feel good that I didn't mislead you guys. Okay, obviously I'm being sarcastic. Best teacher is failure, picking yourself up, dusting yourself off, changing the message, and doing it again. Well, I don't know. I would say it's the best teacher, but certainly if you fail and don't learn from it, you've wasted your time, right? The purpose of failure is to teach us. And if we learn from that, that's great. But also, victory is also another way you can learn what's working too. But yeah, I wouldn't if I called 50 people and got cut off by the receptionist, all 50 calls, I wouldn't give up. I'd say, well, what do I have to do to get through those gatekeepers to be successful? Because if I figure that out, I'm the only realtor who'll be able to do that. Once you get the appointment, what's my value offer making their clients' lives smoother and easier when it comes to real estate transaction? We can be a concierge of services, but do we just leave a flyer info from Lisa? That's a great question. That's more of a conversation than a question. But I think that in any relationship, so I'll just share with you guys. I was married in 1986. I'm going to have my 40th wedding anniversary next month. I've learned a lot. I know a lot about what it takes to be a good husband. I don't do much of it, but I know what it takes. Okay, so there's a distinction. It's hard work to do it. I know I'm supposed to do, but I'm not saying I do it, so I don't want to mislead you. But I believe in all relationships, marriage, friendships, business relationships. The key, I got the advice from a rabbi at my wedding. It's interesting, I even know the rabbi. We contracted with my rabbi. He got called out in a family emergency. He had his son-in-law, who I'd never met, do this service. But we recorded it, and he had some sage advice that applies to business. And this answers Lisa's question, I think, directly. The key to success in being a probate real estate agent or probate investor or being in business or being married is not finding the right partner, it's being the right partner. Right? So many people who I meet who are single, they spend all their energy looking at trying to find the right person to marry, not realizing that nobody would marry them as they are now. They don't work on being more marriageable. They're looking to find the right partner. Well, it's easy to go dating and then pick apart everybody you meet. It's much harder to make yourself more desirable to the person you want to marry. And the same is true with probate real estate. I think that to answer your question, I would say, I don't know the answer for you. You're in the state of Virginia, different than California. You're different than I am. You have different pluses and minuses, right? I have some minuses that you don't have. I have some pluses you don't have. The same with you and me. You may want to do things I don't want to do. On the call here, Millie Hand is a registered nurse. She likes talking to families about placing them into housing for appropriate senior level housing. I don't care. I don't like it. It all keeps me out. I've been unsuccessful with my own parents and in-laws. So I don't want to talk about that, but she does, makes a living at it. You do you and I do me, but Lisa, the answer to your question is you ask questions. What's your biggest challenge in your business? Where are the opportunities for me to help you? What are things realtors have done for you before inconsistently, but helped you with your business? And you look for opportunities to solve their problem. Now, it might be, they might say to you, they have problems that you don't want to solve or can't solve. Now, at least you know. And you have to go into it. You're discovering to see if you're the right partner for them. And if you are, what they need from you and can you deliver that? You know, if I was dating and a woman said to me, and she might be the most gorgeous woman in the world, most attractive woman ever, that just had every inch of my body aching for her. But she said to me, but she wanted me to do the laundry, clean the house, and do the cooking and cleaning. That ain't going to happen. It doesn't matter how attractive she is. And same in business with probate real estate, that you need to figure out what you do, what you want to do, look for opportunities where you can help people, but also your limits and be honest about it and what you're not going to do. And I think you get that by asking questions and sitting down with people and doing it over and over again, and you'll get better at that. Does that help a little bit, Liz? Give you a little something to work on? Okay. So that's once you get the appointment. Angela, what about landing page for people? Again, a landing page really is just your fly paper that you put out there to capture people, which is great. I think landing pages, I have a bunch of landing pages. Probate Weekly is a landing page. You go there, you put your email address in, you get emailed out opportunity to see my videos. But you got to drive the traffic to the landing page. So rather than finding a landing page as a solution, for example, I use MailChimp as an email program, and they have like free landing pages built into it. Easy to put together. I work at eXp Realty. They give us KV Core or 3 different websites, 3 different choices. I use one of them, Bull Trail, and they have landing pages built in. They're all kind of the same. Doesn't really matter. What matters is A, the landing page has to have something that people want to go to, and then B, you got to work like heck to get people to want to click on your landing page. So don't worry too much about that. Think about how are you going to get people to want to talk to you, do business with you, or something that they're going to want from you. A probate guide, probate in Virginia, 10 easy steps, 10 mistakes people make. You might put a social post. The 10 mistakes I see most commonly in families in probate in the state of Virginia. And you post that on Facebook and LinkedIn. You post it every 2 days. You post it directly because if you use a service, it's easier, but it just doesn't work. But again, you can use a landing page. That's a great technique. But again, don't think because you put a landing page up there, you can then take off the rest of the day. You need to work then 3 or 4 hours a day to drive people to that landing page. Hope that helps, Angela. Okay, any hands up? Boy, and I'm not selling landing pages. I wouldn't because I don't think they don't work. You have to do the work. I use landing pages. Same with the website. And so I don't mean to put down any of these tools. I just want to say the tool's not going to solve the problem. Get a clear plan. Like if you said to me, Angela, my strength one of my strengths is data analysis and writing. I think based on results, I have an email that goes out every week, and based on feedback I get, the kind of people, attorneys who write me good feedback, I'm a pretty good writer to my audience. So I put that's a lead magnet I use, and people sign up to get the email. People sign up to see the video version of the podcast. But you have to put the energy in to write the content, and that then drives people to want to do business with you. There's no tool that's going to drive people to you. If you could just create landing pages, the website, Google and Facebook would do all the business. They can't connect with people as well as I can, or you can if you work hard. Okay. Lisa says, I recently introduced myself to a land records clerk at the circuit court. She helped me with the computer, where to look, so conversation, asked a few business cards. Nice. Well, okay. So she said, I met this person. She helped me at the court. And how do I continue a relationship without being salesy? Well, Lisa, how would I create a relationship with you and not be salesy? What would that look like? Maybe you should go to lunch with her. Maybe when you come in, you find out her favorite coffee drink. You bring her a Starbucks. Maybe you have some, I don't know, some hobby in common. Maybe she likes football and you both are Washington Commanders fans or something. I don't know. But I think any relationship is the same thing. Find out what somebody else wants and give them what they want. When I want to be close to my wife, my wife loves NFL football. I was a boy. That's what I dreamed of when I was a boy. Now I'm just bored with the whole thing. But my wife just can't stop talking about football. So she'll be upstairs watching the game. And like last night, the Dodgers World Series. We're in Los Angeles. She was watching the whole game. I just went up. I went up in the 7th inning because I figured myself I'll spend a few innings with her, and I'm her husband. It's kind of my job in life is to be with her. I don't even sound like that, but I'm just saying that's one of the things I'm supposed to do. It turns out it was an 18 inning game, so I was here for 12 innings. I didn't mean to, but my point is, what is it that somebody in a relationship with you does that you enjoy, right? Invite you out, talk about things you like to talk about. Maybe just pick up the phone and say hi, send her a card, thank her. She takes time to show you how to use a computer. Thank her for that. All those things would be appropriate. But again, that's the right question, Lisa. That's the right question. I don't know the answer for you. You learned the right answer for you. I know the right answer for me. I'm in Los Angeles, California. Our clerks are behind bulletproof glass. They're never going to talk to me. So my answer is stay the heck out of there. You're in Virginia. Some lady liked you enough to help you with the computer and where to look. Good for you. So that's the right. Here's what I would do for you, Lisa. I would sit down with either a blank piece of paper and a pen, or I use Google Docs to take notes on, and I would block out a half hour and say, what do I do to develop a relationship with Mary Sue, the clerk of the county? And I would just think about that for half an hour and put a game plan together to make her my new best friend. That's what I would do. Now, what that looks like, that's for you to decide. Does that make sense? Okay. Can I share more about my YouTube? Well, what do you want to know about my YouTube page? I think I put the channel in the channel's in there. You'll notice for those, it's in there. What else do you want to know about my YouTube page? It's just a channel. Be glad to answer questions you have during. If you want to raise your hand or pop in a question, I'd be glad to help out. Information for Virginia if you'd like to share with the family. Very nice. I will point out there's a great tool called Executorium, executorium.com. And you go in and there's a resource page and you put in your state and your county and it pulls up a bunch of resources for your county. I think all of you should go on that site, register to be on that site, master everything under your county, call people who are in your county, other vendors, and introduce yourself. I would interview them on a YouTube channel. That's what I do, or Facebook, or whatever you do, Instagram. And I would take my other vendors and offer to help them get signed up for free. It's a great, if you just did that, there's a probate business for all of you. In fact, I interviewed the proprietor of that on my YouTube channel a couple of times and walk through step by step what to do. But I think that's just again, it's, most of you are going to say to me, well, gee, Bill, that's a lot of work. Yeah, well, I get paid a lot of money and I do a lot of work. That's how it goes. How often are you recording? So I record whenever there's time slots in my appointment. My goal is to drive people to want to do business with me, to book into my calendar, and some days I'll record 4 or 5 episodes on one day, some days none. We release one long form every day. So I have 5 different podcasts that I release on my YouTube channel. Go on there and check it out. You'll see what I do. Purpose of it is, my first mentor in life was business was Zig Ziglar. He said you can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. So I interview people to help them build their probate business. That's why I'm on this call. Other realtors, I try to help attorneys, fiduciaries, and vendors. So that's my person. I remember when I first started this, somebody said, well, how are you going to make money on this? I said, I have no idea, but I know it's all going to work out. I'm also religious. I'm a religious Jew, where I wear black kippah. I have a faith in God. I work on every day. And I will say that I just believe with all my heart that if I just focus on doing the right thing, he'll figure out the details. I don't really have to worry too much about it. And frankly, I don't worry too much about it, and it's all worked out for me. My YouTube page is superb. Well, thanks, Douglas. Thanks so much. Come on anytime. What else? Executorium.com. Yeah. That in of itself could be a business for anybody on this call, whether you're an investor or a realtor. I'll walk through the steps again. Go on executorium.com. On the resource page, and I have this all laid out on YouTube, but if you go to my YouTube channel and search Executorium, you'll see it. But there's a resource page. Go to your state, then your county, and learn all the resources in your county on probate, trust, and related stuff. Number 1. Number 2, there's a directory in your county. See everybody who's on there. You should reach out to all of them and see how you can help them with their business. I would recommend interviewing them to promote their business on your YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or Twitch, wherever you want to make your channel. I use YouTube. I would interview them all to promote their business. Not your business, promote their business. And then anybody who I have as a vendor who's not on there, my insurance agent, my accountant, any probate attorneys, I would say, hey, you should get on this site. It's fantastic. And while I have you, let me interview you and put the video link into your profile there as well. If you just did that for free, and by the way, you could use their directory page as your web page for free. So really, don't complicate this stuff. Just do the work, and the rest will all follow, I promise you. Okay, we've got 6 minutes left, because I have to jump out at 11:55, if not before. What other things can I help with? Anything? We done? Who was this again? The website, executorium.com. It's the chat box right above you. And it's a website created by a man he's supporting the executors of estates. And he found they needed these resources. And all of us, at some level, would like to meet more executors of the estate to help them be more successful. Okay. While we're waiting, you may have a question, jump in with it, raise your hand, put in the chat box. While we're waiting on that, who here is using AI effectively to be more productive? Anyone want to share anything you've done with AI? Doesn't have to be a major thing. Love to hear anything specific you would share, what you do. I'll give you one example. I have automation on my calendar. I use StreamYard to record my podcast episodes. I have 5 a week, at least. And I have an automation that checks my calendar, anything with StreamYard, searches their name, address, phone number, email, which I need to put in the banner when I record. And then if they're on my YouTube previously, the past episode link, I need that to help summarize what I want to do going forward. And so that's something that used to take me maybe per episode, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Now it's just done automatically for me and is posted every day. Thank you, info. Good start. Good luck, Lisa. Don't be afraid of success. People successful. Okay, Matthew, good advice. How do you? There you go. Somebody put the episode on executorium. I think that I don't charge for it. I don't get paid for it. I'm in a relationship with him other than I think he's great, and I think you all of you in this call would do well to just follow through the steps in that process.
Yeah, Anda chimed in that she's using AI.
I saw that. What are you using it for? Anything particular you can share?
Hi, Bill.
Hi.
I don't have my video on. I'm not using it as advanced as you are. I'm really impressed with what you do, but I'm using it for creating emails, creating marketing content, and I guess basic things. But it's very helpful. It saves time.
So if I could give a little recommendation to those on the call here, I was just at my company convention last week for about 4 days, and there's no question AI just dominated the topic at the convention. Almost every session brought it up, and all the breakouts, all kinds of AI. And I would just urge us all to keep in mind there's two things that Facebook and Google and whoever else can't replace us with. One is our relationships with other human beings. They're going to build robots, and the robots are going to learn everything they can about what to say, but they're not ever going to be us. And if we use the tools to be better us, we win. And I think that then for me points out how so many of these tools are wrong for us as realtors or as investors. Like, did I share on this call? No, it was another call I talked about. I had a referral for a $2.8 million purchase in another state. And I called a mortgage originator I knew, and he referred me to a realtor to refer the buyer to. And I called, texted, and emailed the realtor, and I got back this chatbot. And I waited about an hour, and she never called back. And so I texted with this chatbot to discover it's a chatbot. And I gave her about an hour to call me back. And I realized there are people who think they're so busy that they think chatbots will replace them on customer lead intake. That's true if you're getting like 200 Facebook DMs a day. That's unworkable. But if you get one phone call from a realtor in another state about a $2.8 million house, if you're too busy to handle that phone call, then you're probably in the wrong business. And I would just caution people, you can use, I think, AI to write content, but don't let it replace you, because if Facebook or ChatGPT could write emails to your clients better than you're going to be out of business. You better learn how to use it to write better emails to your clients so you're more effective. Whether it be faster or better emails, that's great. But if they can replace you, they all need you. And so the things we should work on are things that make us better, faster, stronger for our clients. Just kind of, and I see so much focus on, well, you don't have to do anything. You can sit on the pool and just watch your chatbots make all these phone calls and have those conversations. Maybe to get from 1,000 leads down to one real one, but you better be on the phone with that one real one every day, all day long. Otherwise, you're going to be out of business, is my humble opinion on that. So yeah, drive efficiency, not replacement. I would agree. Thank you, Anda. Thank you for much for chiming in. And for somebody asked a question. I missed the majority of the meeting. Will I be able to review it somewhere? Yeah, it's on YouTube. If you go to the Probate Mastery website, you'll see it on YouTube. Oh, here's one. I'm going to go back a little bit. And to pull call lists for attorneys. Very good. Efficient routes for visit, sales, and comp comparisons. Yes. It's very good with mapping things. Fantastic with mapping things. Offer management. Yeah. Offerin.io is a tool, and I've tried. I had one that had 5 offers on a property, and mine are probate. There's supposed to be a probate addendum, and it clicked yes on a couple that it should have clicked no. Scares me. So you still got to check stuff. I don't know how to. Certainly before you accept an offer, you need to go over it in detail. Don't let it replace you for that. Marketing letters and copywriting. I'd be careful with that. I think it's great to see what the chat recommends. But if you're talking about, and if you're talking about something that's mass marketing, yes, but to your clients, I'd be very careful not to lose the skill of writing into clients directly. And you'll be doing video and commercial creation. Well, good for you, Darren. Thank you for sharing all that. Okay, so I think that covers all the questions. I got to jump off because I have a call coming up here in a few minutes. I'm at Bill Gross Probate. If I can help in any way, be glad to. And also on my website, there's a link there if you want to do a consult. I'd be glad to share anybody. It's interesting how, of all my business calls, attorneys never no show, vendors on my podcast never no show. I offer agents like you a free coaching call just to help you with your business, not to do anything else or sell you anything. And I get about 50% no show rate. Just kind of an interesting factoid. But I'm glad to help. And I would say if you have any questions, go on my YouTube channel, check it out. Feel free from there. On my YouTube channel has all my contact info. Reach out if I can help. I'd be glad to talk to you individually one-on-one. I'm at Bill Gross Probate on social media. And thanks, everybody. I really appreciate your time today.